Hello and welcome to Capital TV News. My name is Olive Barrows and these are the stories making headlines. 6 suspects arrested over the killing of the late Kabete MP George Muchai were arraigned in court on Monday. The suspects were detained after the police asked for 22 more days to complete their investigations. Principal Magistrate Benson Ziako accepted their request and ordered the suspects to appear in court on the 10th of March for further directions. The suspects, 4 men and 2 women, will be detained at the Central Police Station. The late Muchai, who was shot dead with his 2 bodyguards and a driver during an ambush on Kenyatta Avenue, was laid to rest last week. Police have since recovered a G3 rifle used in the killings and a pistol stolen from one of the bodyguards who was armed at the time. The Consumers Federation of Kenya has called on NTV, KTN, QTV and Citizen to allow DSTV and other digital broadcast signal distributors to carry their content. COFEC Secretary General Stephen Motoro says they can do this as they work to import their own digital equipment. He says that by switching off their own digital transmissions, the TV stations are not acting in the public's interest and are only out to protect their commercial interests.
A way forward would have been easy. Let them be carried by Signet, at least for a short while, and then they can be able to revert to their own once they are on board. I mean, it is akin to somebody refusing a lift, as somebody would have said. You refuse a lift in your neighbor's car on your way to go and buy a limousine. I mean, the question is, would you buy that limousine? No, the answer is it will take you long, probably to get there. By the time you get there, somebody may even rob you of the money that you need to buy your limousine. So I think they need to be realistic. They are not.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Union of Journalists has called on the Communications Authority of Kenya to give the 3 media houses 3 months to import their digital equipment by allowing them to broadcast on an analog platform. The union's chairman, Oscar Obonyo, says 2,000 reporters, cameramen, editors, technicians and correspondents risk losing their jobs otherwise. KUJ Organizing Secretary John Atambo says they are not opposed to digital migration and simply want the television stations and the Communications Authority to desist from trading blame and engage in dialogue.
When CAK and police officers invaded transmission stations in Limuru, then that means that even people who are manning and also who are operating those transmission stations are also affected. So we might be talking of over 2,000 people alongside journalists, because we have got various professionals who also working in the media. Not only journalists, but all the professionals are also affected. So we should be talking about over 2,000 people collectively.
And in business, CIC Insurance Group has appointed Tom Gitogo as the new CEO as Nelson Kuria prepares to retire. Kuria, who has been at the helm for the last 20 years, will go on early retirement at the end of February. Kuria has expressed confidence that Gitogo will inject youthfulness and dynamism into the company, having taken over at the age of 46. Gitogo, who joined the company in November 2014 as the deputy group CEO, has promised to hit the ground running. He has expressed interest in growing the SACCO market and investing even more in the micro-insurance industry.
They call me Hell, they call me Stacy, they call me Her, they call me Jane. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Christ. They call me Hell.
Look for the Coca-Cola bottle with your name on it at your nearest outlet and share happiness with your friends.
And in sports, Kenya's Yvonne Getich brought the crowd to tears when she crawled to 3rd place at Sunday's Austin Marathon. Getich was well on course for victory at the 23rd mark mile, but by the time she got to the finish line, her body had given out and she was crawling on all 4s. Race volunteers were there with a wheelchair, which she refused to use. She even had to pause to gather her energy to continue her determined crawl to the finish. Austin Marathon race director John Conley adjusted her prize money to equal that of a second finisher in honor of her tremendous courage. For more on these and other stories, log on to www.capitalfm.co.ke. Thank you for watching. I'm Olive Barrows.